This is to do with the fact that he is obviously better on top of the ground?
Yes, that and the money. The money's good, obviously, but certainly that also. You know, he's restricted to what races he can run in during the winter because he doesn't like the tracks too bad.
And he is a horse that does generally run handy and up on the pace. A lot of runners in the race, of course, and at least one that we do know does go forward in the form of Kickett. Where do you see him settling in the run?
Probably don't want to be too far off the speed, and saying that they are going to run along a little bit, so hopefully if we can be slightly better than midfield or even better still, then that'll suit us.
And how has his work been since the last run?
His work's been good. He's obviously a bit older now, and he's a bit of a lazy worker. His run here last start was a good run. Blew out the last little bit, but no, a good run.
And in the Derby, of course, later on, Raspberry Ripple. I said before that I was very surprised that this horse has developed after a 2-year-old form on type into a staying 3-year-old. Have you, in the stable, always had these sort of races in mind, or has she surprised you too?
She has surprised us to a certain degree. As a young horse, we always thought she'd get over a bit of ground, a mile, 2,000 metres, but then she won that race as a 2-year-old over 1,100. She is bred to get over a bit of ground. Quest for Fame's a Bill mare. So, yeah, no, it's always hard to tell, though, isn't it?
Have you been pleased with everything going into the race gone according to plan?
Very much so. Very
fantastic. And a quick word too on Able Attempt, your expectations today over 1,600?
He can get a mile. His 1,400 is probably his best trip, but he can get a mile, and right-handed he is better also.
Well, there is Jockular's trainer Craig Ritchie, apparently showing 9.95 to 70. Interesting for Titans in off that. I thought it would be one of the improvers from the other day. Westport.
Yeah, the winner on a bright note, and no information further on the inquiry. He's paid $14.60 and $4.30. Plettenberg Bay $2 and Old Glory $5.80. 4 and 6 Quinella paid $40.70 and the Try paid $1,885.25. You know, Steve, when we have these summer hurdle races, I always think you've got to look for the horses with the ability on the flat, and there are plenty in this race. If you look in that category, though, Classify, horse that's running Group 1 races. He raced in the Brisbane Cup, raced in the Doomben Cup, raced in the Metropolitan.
Just hasn't come back to it though, Luke. Just hasn't come back to that sort of form. Our caller here, Keith Hobb. Keith, how did Sander look after you?
Pretty well, yes. Came out with all the nice presents and everything. A very wonderful day. So, and aren't we lucky with this one? Somebody's
change of chairman.
It might be too. I was a bit worried this morning at about 7 o'clock when we had that heavy rain, but it's cleared and it's been probably the best thing that ever happened to it. The track was to the penetrometer, and of course it'll give it a good drink and it'll just take the fire out. And I think these jumping horses are really going to appreciate that shower this morning. So what a great field it is. It's just a pity we had that many nominations that a lot of them couldn't make it, but it's ended up a very, very good field. And as you say, some of these horses with their ability on the flat, they're going to get along here at 100 miles an hour. I went for Jockular this morning, loves these new hurdles, and he's a very apt jumper. The other horse, Kickett, of course, he has the pace on the flat and is a spectacular jumper. Has been to Australia, steeplechased and hurdled over there as well. And the other horse that I put in is Crown Dancer, was very impressive at Counties not just a few weeks ago. So those were the three, but I've left out some pretty smart horses.
Yeah, it's going to be like that throughout the program. We've got fashion in the fields here, Keith, and if you're a single male, you shouldn't go to the cricket. You should be here, I would think.
Well, that's it, sure. And if you're a lady, you can get win a Mercedes A-Class car worth $48,000 just for the sake of dressing up. It costs you nothing to enter, so some great sights here on course. Steve, you're right down there amongst them.
Oh, mate, some sensational sights here, isn't it, Luke?
Well, for once, Steve, we're not the ones on course with the most makeup on. Let's go back to this, Steve, because you've just trashed me on Classify.
I have.
Won the last time he raced over hurdles. He's got the class on the flat. He's done more racing in the last few months than any of these, so he's got more fitness. Justify yourself.
Well, I've just seen him over the times that he has come north and has been beaten a long way out in some of his races. I thought he was coming back to it. I thought his run the other day, though, was just simply that moderate.
Okay, well, we shall see. Profiler, another big chance in the race, 5.75 and 2.25 for the place. It was a very good run at Profiler's last start when running second behind Myoka in that flat race. That was the same race that Kickett ran third in. Got to be one of the big chances, 5.75.
Yep, and I think too, Hummer, the likes of Hummer with Craig Thornton. I like those horses that made ground on that run the other day that would have taken a lot of improvement, that hadn't had a lot of racing coming into it. And I think the horses that you mentioned, Jockular, Hummer, Kickett and Profiler, will all fit into that category.
And wouldn't it be a great result if Hummer were to win the race with the misfortune that Lisa Crop and the Crop family have had in recent times with the death of older sister Vicky in America, and this is, I believe, the first horse that she has trained.
Yes, it is. Well, we're not too far off a start here. It is Mercedes Derby Day, Auckland International Airport hurdles. Here's our caller, Keith Hobb.
So Jockular now the last one to go up. Field of 14. Baron Thompson the inside, possible pacemaker. Although Kickett gets along at a merry bat as well. So they're all set to go. Auckland Airport hurdles, away they go. Deluge, one of the first out, to the max goes, and Kickett now kicks up on the outside to go with the leaders. On the inside now is Baron Thompson going with that lead, and right there is Hummer at the first, and over goes Baron Thompson. Right there, Crown Dancer on the outside. 1.5 back, then Kickett is lying third, then Hummer on the inside, to the max, the next horse, then followed by Jockular as around the turn they come, then followed back on the inside as they come to that turn now is Honestly. They swing into the straight by the 400 metres, and now Baron Thompson got away about 4 to 5 lengths as he swings into the first in the straight. Now Kick It Up on the outside. Next on its inside as they come to it is Crown Dancer, 5 to Jockular. Hummer is the next horse classified, tucked in on the inside, to the max, travelling out a bit. Man of Glory is the next one with Deluge. Dans is back as they come to the next in the straight. Aqua Meadow last with then Deluge. So racing down to the judge now with a lap and a bit to go. Baron Thompson is the pacemaker. On the inside, Crown Dancer. They're followed out by Kickett's lying third today. About 3 back behind these, Honestly travelling out wide from Jockular. Hummer's on the inside of these two, then to the max, the next one from Man of Glory. They're followed by Classify, then followed Ricky Roo back on the inside of then Profiler as they swing out 1,600 metres to go. Then followed back behind them, Deluge, Dans is next, and last of all, Aqua Meadow. So into the back they go. Baron Thompson still there from Honestly, taking it on the outside. They led about 3 on Kickett, followed by Crown Dancer as they go to the one on the far side. Baron Thompson, Honestly, they flew it in the lead. 3-4 back to Kickett. Nice jump, Crown Dancer, Jockular. There's one down. Dans went hit over Turkey there. So at the next on the far side, Baron Thompson, Honestly, the 2 leaders. Crown Dancer lying third. Right there on the outside is Kickett. Then Classify going nicely next. Then Jockular on its outside as they work up that rise. Then followed by Hummer. Man of Glory the next one, then followed by on the inside Ricky Roo at the next. To the max is next. A bunched up lot, then followed any of these can win. Then Deluge, then now giving ground is Profiler, and back with it now is Aqua Meadow. That horse is up now as they race down towards the right. The next one at the 750. Kick It now swept round to lead. Honestly in second place, then Classifies lying third now. Jockular was fourth over as they leapt over that one and head in with about 650 to go. About fourth, Man of Glory, Deluge to the max. These are all flat. Hummer might be making a bit of ground. Crown Dancer's got well back. Around the corner comes Kick It. He's got clear. 2 on Classify, who's travelling well. 500 metres to go, 2 hurdles to jump, and then Honestly lying third. From next is Jockular. Down to the second last now. Classify looms up to Kick It. They come to it. They jump to Kick It. Went down. He hit it. He dropped the rider, and it left Classify with a clear lead. 5 on Jockular, then followed by Honestly. 1 to go for Classify. Coming to it. Up and over he goes. He gets the money. He races away. Jockular in second place is trying to pull him back though. Classify starting to wobble. Jockular's trying to get him, but Classify in front going to the post, and he just, oh, by gee, I don't know. Jockular dived at him on the line. Classify, photos there. Crown Dancer the next one, then Aqua Meadow followed by Honestly. Next behind them Deluge. Hummer the next horse, then followed home by Profiler. A long way to Man of Glory to the max, and followed back was towards the rear was Baron Thompson and Ricky Roo. Close here for Jockular, diving at him at the post, and has just as he got up Classify on the outside. Nothing between these two as they went to possibly Classify has just held on. So let's have a look at it here as they go towards the line. He flew at him, Jockular, but I think Classify has just made it.
Exciting finish to the first. Steve, if Classify had been beaten there, I might have just about jumped on the bandwagon with you there, because he should have won the race.
You should be still with me after a performance like that. It was home for the money, and it has given
and
up.
He's got home for the money.
Well, we assume so. We're waiting for the judge's call here.
Gee,
It was
Eddie
Eddie Lamb.
okay,
This was nasty. The one behind
nice.
him there,
Oh.
bang. And not nice for Eddie Lamb, who's had his series of race falls. Classify looked absolutely home here. Didn't make a great job of the last, but Jockular, the horse I thought, as you picked out, Craig Ritchie, was the improver out of the race on the what was the first day. We can term that the first day of the carnival. I don't know whether he hasn't made it. We'll wait and see the call.
Well, we will wait and see. In any case, it is a very good run by Jockular, a horse that is going to improve again next season as a jumper. He's only been out of the money once in his 8 starts over the hurdles.
There is a $10,000 bonus, of course, with the hurdle race coming up New Year's Day. So just watch some of these horses coming through this. You'll be looking to back up, get enough points, and a $10,000 bonus. And obviously Classify and Jockular will come out of this race with the most points. Must be particularly close.
It must be particularly close, just taking a bit of time to get the call. They certainly weren't making any ground from the back, but that's not entirely surprising. They were just going so fast up front.